Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here today. We're taking a quick look at LRC, and just before we do, we'll take a quick peek at Bitcoin, of course, kind of see what's going on with Big Dog himself, because it's definitely a very, very good sign here. So just to quickly note, Bitcoin is up over 67,000. We're looking very, very healthy, very good. It came down to bounce off 66,000 as we expected, just based on the fact that that was a previous all-time high close, right? Or the most recent high close, rather. So that being said, Bitcoin's in great shape. We should expect to see a continuation to the upside. 70,000 is the next target, effectively. There might be some consolidation here in the near future, but we'll take a look at that again later. But just note, general state of things, we're looking very, very good. And now for Loopring. And you know what? I apologize. If you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, I've just been trading for over 15 years. My goal is to help you become a better trader. So please keep that in mind. I truly do love helping people become better financially, and trading is the best opportunity for that because it creates a lot of financial independence, right? That being said, I have a trading community / signal group where I share every single trade that I take with my members. You can one-click follow if you'd like, but more importantly, you have the option to be able to interact with myself and a really amazing community. In fact, these videos are requested by my members, right? That's why I provide these videos to you. So thank you so much to my current members. You know exactly who you are. You are deeply appreciated. Now, LRC, one-day chart. We'll go ahead and stick with the regular indicators, and we'll go ahead and drop some Fibonacci retracement lines because this kind of momentum, we need to kind of understand what that looks like. We do have a bit of a retracement here today, which is actually good. Gives us an idea of kind of what to expect moving forward. So all the moving averages are pretty far behind. We got the RSI bounced off of 70. And if you don't know already, 70 on the RSI can work as a strong resistance or support level. Same with 50 and 30 on the inverse, right? But that being said, we are just definitely in bullish territory right now. That just implies that the bulls are still in control. 4-hour chart is very much a similar scenario. Obviously, the price is kind of trying to come back down on the RSI. If it comes down below 70, that would be a consideration to either a buy signal or reevaluate and see if we want to end up either shorting or essentially just making sure that we look at the big picture, right? You always want to try to reevaluate things when the RSI dumps under 70 or just say it touches 70. So oftentimes I'll just set an alert for that and see kind of what's going on. So 4-hour chart does look good though. Keep this in mind. This is very healthy. We got increase, consolidation, increase, consolidation, increase, followed by another consolidation. So the likelihood of this legging up again is pretty high considering that's exact sentiment, right? So that's looking pretty good, all things considered. Just keep in mind, this is a lot of growth in a short amount of time, right? 150% in 2 or 3 trading days. That's tremendous, right? So we got to respect that in the sense that it's probably overextended, even though that's a healthier increase. This is absolutely overbought, right? If that makes sense. So just keep that in mind. Try to understand that. Now moving on to Ishimoku Cloud, not much to really note there. Let's look at the 4-hour chart for that though, or sorry, 1-hour chart. The price could come down and effectively work here. So keep this in mind. The cloud does work as a support level oftentimes, and it could keep the price action up. If it travels into the cloud, no big deal, but as soon as it breaks below, we want to be a little concerned and start honoring the other Fibonacci retracement lines and see where it might go next. TD sequential will tell us that we're at a 9, pretty obviously, but as you can see, look at this, it's pretty much rinsing and repeating the same actions. This is where healthy consolidation comes into play. 1 through 9, consolidation. 1 through 9, consolidation. 1 through 9, consolidation / retrace. So I am not surprised to see that because that when you see 3 4-hour candlesticks of consolidation followed by a leg up, that you can pretty much expect it to be at 9s across the board when it comes to the 1-hour chart. So that's actually fantastic. This is reaffirming that LRC, albeit overextended, is still in very good shape in that sense to perhaps have a continuation. I do think it needs to consolidate a little bit further. Of course, retrace down to the next closest support level, maybe even right around here, right around 302. But we'll see here soon, of course, with our retracement lines. But I really like what I'm seeing here. Let's also find out where the most amount of volume is in the last 3 days of trading. We have a tremendous amount of volume right at about 211, and obviously right here at 289 roughly. These are both consolidation states. That makes perfect sense, but it does help to understand that those are probably likely strong support levels. There's a reason why Fibonacci retracement lines correlate directly with the volume profile visible range, because it just has that large amount of, I guess you could say, accumulation, and it makes sense because everyone's trying to buy or sell at that point, and the bears eventually lose control and the bulls take control. All right, so let's go ahead and take a quick peek at Fibonacci retracement, kind of see what's going on here, see if we can find the best course of action. So we'll find the most recent low. get on up there. All right. So as we can see, the volume profile range, they're matching pretty much every state of consolidation, right? That's pretty standard. But it just reaffirms the fact that these are two strong support levels. So we're just going to go ahead and mark those here and make sure we kind of respect those moving forward. In other words, if the price were to lose its current support, which it looks like it's going to soon to be testing 327, then we can expect the next leg down essentially to be right at those Fibonacci retracement lines. Okay. So we'll pull Fibonacci up again here in a little bit. But for right now, that's kind of what we're dealing with. So the price should likely consolidate down here and either go sideways, could also potentially lose that support and go down here as well. So that's why we want to kind of wait a little bit for it to establish itself, because if it can repeat this same behavior, just say we get about 6 to 8 hours worth of consolidation right here, then that'll likely mean that it's not going to go much lower and it should continue back upwards because it still has that healthy continuation, right? Now, I wouldn't normally say that if this wasn't so pretty, I guess you could, for lack of better terms. It's just a really nice chart. I like the fact that it ramps up, consolidates for 8 to 10 hours, and does the same thing over and over again. That's what healthy bull runs do. BNB did that a while back. It slowly crept up. I know I bring this up a lot, but it crept up, back in May, I think it was, from 250 to 600. No one even really saw it coming because every single day it increased by only 10 to 15%. Now, LRC is a different story. We got like 100 and some odd percent in 3 days, but the same sentiment applies, right? It's a healthier bull run, and there's a strong likelihood of it continuing to the upside based on that sentiment alone. But this doesn't mean that we're just going to blast right through this resistance level and continue on, because honestly, at this point, it's broke its own all-time high like 3 times in a row, for lack of better terms. So I would say that we are generally looking or expecting at best case scenario for now, short term, consolidation right around 330, 330 as a rough estimate. And then, of course, a secondary consolidation at 284. But the bottom line here is this is going to be a nice little support channel if the price were to come down into either section. It shouldn't go much lower than that. Again, just based on the fact that it's kind of a very healthy run. So that is kind of what we're looking at there. Let's go ahead and do a quick prediction for you so we can kind of see what the better case scenario would look like if it were to come to fruition. We're looking at $7.27 as an absolute best case scenario, but keep that in mind. It's going to be, we shouldn't expect that in the next couple of days. I know LRC has been proving me wrong with these predictions. Actually, no, it's been proving me right in the predictions. It goes right to the point where it needs to. It just goes there a lot faster than I expected to. So again, me being conservative, I'd much rather be conservative than tell you a bunch of falseness or falsehoods, whatever the word is there. I don't want to try to hype you up, right? I like to be realistic. And traditionally speaking, outside of LRC and the KDAs, for the most part, coins shouldn't evolve that quickly, right? So what we should expect in general for this double, essentially, because it took 5 days for it to get to this point, right? So hypothetically, another 5 days, we could reach to $7.27. But I would say more realistically, just to be conservative, I'd say 1 to 2 weeks. That's probably more realistic. Again, bear in mind, we still have to see what happens with these support levels first, right? Because right now, if it retraces and just comes crashing back down and breaks this major support channel, then it might be a different story. Because the higher something goes, the more likely it is to come back down, right? And the harder something crashes, the longer it takes to recover. Just imagine yourself, right? Have you ever gotten hit really hard? Or again, I use the analogy of falling down a flight of stairs. I hope you've never done that. But if you've fallen down anything, the harder you fall, the longer it takes you to recover. Coins are the exact same way. They don't just bounce back immediately. Granted, this one has a lot of hype evolved around it, and it's a very strong social sentiment type of coin. But outside of that, generally speaking, if this falls really hard, it falls on its face tomorrow or today, we shouldn't expect it just to blast straight through its previous all-time high. At least not for a little while, right? So just keep that in mind. We'll keep a closer look at our LRC and make sure we understand how things are going. I mean, I get this requested very frequently from not only my patrons, but my community members, Telegram, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. I get a lot of requests for this one, so I'll just try to keep an eye on it. I would say at least daily, if not bi-daily, and kind of go from there. And let me know if you have an open position from really, really far away, right? I mean, if you got in around 50 cents or 5 cents, whatever the case is, let us know. Comment below. It'd be really cool to celebrate that. But I do want to thank you so much for your time here today, of course. And if you haven't already considered joining my Patreon community, you want to become a better trader, check that out in your own time. I think you would benefit greatly. It's a really awesome experience. I'm really looking forward to the bear market where we can all maximize our benefit, because believe it or not, that's a much easier market to trade. Either way, we can survive regardless. It's just how trading is. As long as you're patient and conservative, and you obviously take profits when you can. And that's my recommendations for this. So if you haven't already taken profit, make sure you do so. Consider taking, trimming some of your position and adding to it as the price comes down. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next video. You take care.